So Destiny has fully responded to Leafy, and this whole entire situation, you know, it appears that things have de-escalated. You know, Leafy did have 2 VODs removed from his channel. One of the VODs including the nudes of Melina, and the other VOD was where he was saying some choice words about a group of people that Leafy covers a lot, actually.
Wow.
But yeah, both of those 2 VODs were removed off of Rumble, which, I mean, to be honest, like, as much as I don't like, you know, content being removed, they kind of had to remove that. Obviously the nude stuff, the nudity, whether it was leaked nudes or not, they had to remove it just because nudity is banned from the platform. Rumble isn't a porn website. And then the calling for the death of various people and stuff. If they want to keep their app on the App Store and Google Play Store, obviously they have to take down, you know, direct incitements of violence, which is a term that I don't really agree with. But, you know, I can complain about that all day. It just means nothing to anyone else. I mean, that's just how that's how the world works. That's how websites works. So regardless of what I think about that, that is the state of things. Leafy did have 2 VODs removed, but Destiny also responded to it, and he seems a lot more cooled off here. So let's listen to what he had to say.
It was straight up insane, dude.
Hey, Rumble, dude. So to be clear, I did not message every person at Rumble. I only know one guy at Rumble, and that's Chris, the CEO. He's the only guy I know. I sent him one message, I believe. And my message was, IDK if you're able to talk to this guy, but holy shit, LOL. The Leafy dude, for some reason, was literally streaming old leaked nudes on my wife on stream because I said I didn't want to talk to him, and then I linked a video clip. Then me and Chris had a phone call for 5 minutes, okay? We talked for about a minute or 2 on Discord. The connection didn't work, and then he called my phone where we talked for 3 minutes and 2 seconds. He's the only person I've talked to about this. I didn't demand or ask for anybody to get banned. I just don't want Leafy streaming this type of shit about my wife.
So he backtracks off getting a banned or whatever, which you could just write off as like a, you know, an angry reaction, irrational reaction. Look, I don't think, you know, Destiny looks insane in this clip, right?
100%.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You know, but it is fair to say, like, okay, if you're streaming live 10, 12 hours a day, you're going to say stuff that isn't perfectly worded or perfectly, you know, genuine here. It seems like Destiny has backed off the whole deplatforming stuff, which is, you know, good to see or whatever.
I think later in that clip, he's like, I would never do that. It's like a cuck thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
But I was angry and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's reactionary. You can still criticism for it 100%, but it's not, he didn't follow through with that.
No, he didn't fall through with that. He seems to have backed off that. Now, he did talk to the Rumble CEO, and he was just basically saying, like, hey, this dude's doing this. I don't like this. Like, what's the deal here or whatever. And now Leafy, it seems like there's a conflict of information here, right? Because Leafy says that he cried to the Rumble CEO for like 4 hours until they removed 2 VODs, which implies that they were like arguing and Destiny's making demands, and the CEO like cocked to Destiny and shamed Leafy or something. This giant like clusterfuck of a conversation happened, but Destiny's saying that never happened. It was just like 2 minutes or whatever. I don't really know where Leafy's getting like that from or whatever, or if there's some secret like crazy call. I would have loved to listen to that if that really happened.
Yeah.
Could you imagine just this like 3-way insane group call? I don't know, man.
Yeah, that would be, I would want to be a fly on the wall there when that's gone on, for
Literally,
sure.
Destiny's like screaming like, dude, this guy's showing fucking nudes of my wife. What the fuck? And then Leafy's just like, dude, your wife wants to fuck me, bro. Why are you mad? And then the CEO's like, well, listen, guys, I mean,
we just resolve this.
Can we
have
just
Speed and
work this
Kai on the
out?
platform. Like we can
look,
shut the fuck
we're
up.
trying to do big things here, all right, guy? And he's like, dude. But yeah, Destiny's saying that never happened. It was just all complete bullshit. So there's that. He continues on here.
More than fucking fair, by the way.
And it's funny too because the Rumble CEO people, you know, this Rumble CEO and, you know, the people at Rumble, dude, they just signed Kai and Speed.
Right.
I feel like for them, they're just like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Can these people shut the fuck up?
To get him permabanned from fucking Rumble. Actually, you know what?
I feel like he might actually be worse than H3, and I'm not even kidding, dude.
Yo, worse than H3, Destiny?
That's a stretch. H3 is
I don't
a
think
lot
so.
Worse.
Well, here's the thing, too, about the Rumble CEO, right? Some people might think, like, him contacting the Rumble CEOs, like, a big deal or whatever. In defense of Destiny, the Rumble CEO is actually, like, a lot more, like, communicative to people within the community, right? Like, the Rumble CEO is, like, interacting with people's tweets and stuff like that. Susan, on the other hand, who's not the CEO of YouTube anymore, but when she was, I mean, the only people that had connections with Susan was, like, Ludwig and H3, which are kind of, like, hand-picked creators that
they chose they were soy enough to like be in contact.
Yeah,
with.
exactly.
But, no, the Rumble CEO, he's built the connections also from the ground up. Susan, like I'm pretty sure started those connections just randomly after they'd already been content creators for a while.
Right.
The Rumble CEO is like from day one of you being on Rumble, we're all in contact and like chill or whatever. So it's a totally different story. I mean, him sending him a message and having a 3-minute call with him is not the same thing as H3 inviting Susan over to their private studio to have a nice little conversation about Keemstar or whatever else.
Yeah. And also, by the way, when H3 had Susan over at the studio, they weren't even doing a podcast, right? It's not like Susan was going to go on the H3 podcast. She was just there. And they tweeted a picture of it for like no reason. And then everybody was just like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So Destiny continues on. Let's move ahead a few minutes.
The reality was, by the time I reached out to Chris, they had already heard a ton of things from other people because of other insane things that Leafy had said, most of which you guys are aware of, the kill all trans people. They'd already been made aware of a ton of other things that Leafy was saying because a ton of people were like generating interest over it.
So Destiny's saying that the Rumble was already tipped off and questioning some of Leafy's content, which again, here's the deal, right? In my opinion, and I know Keffels put up some like video where they were like, the commenter community is defending Leafy, who's advocating for genocide or something like that. I mean, are you taking it that seriously? First of all, this guy, one of the oldest like viral fucking internet trolls, like you're gonna hear him say kill all group of people, and you're gonna sit there and freak out, like you're falling for the bait. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I fully support his right to make literally say anything, honestly.
Right.
Like actually anything.
Free speech absolutist, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly, right? And the thing is like with Rumble, I think they want to do that, but it's like a situation again. Rumble is not a free speech website, just definitionally speaking, because again, with Apple and Google's policy, Apple and Google have created this like horrible ecosystem where they determine the rules of the apps that go in their store. So they basically have entire control over like YouTube. Like if YouTube wanted to start, like if YouTube decided one day, it's like, no, actually vaccine, election content, fuck it. Like we're all going to put that on the front page, promote it, genocide, declaring stuff like that, incitements to violence, promote it all. If YouTube decided to do all that, right?
Right.
They don't have an app anymore.
Yeah, because Google just takes it off the app.
Now, the website will still exist because the internet so far has not been compromised, at least in the United States. Not yet, anyway. But Rumble can never fully achieve free speech because if they want to stay in the app stores, at least, which is where like 90% of their user base comes from, right? So when Leafy's doing stuff like that, you might be thinking, oh, Rumble's cucked. Rumble's a shitty platform or something.
Yeah.
No, it's just they're forced to do that because of the limitations of the store.
Right.
Here, Destiny goes to further elaborate, his stance on deplatforming.
You're obviously in the right to complain to Chris, but I doubt Leafy knows the extent of what you said to Chris. He can only go off what you said on stream that you'd get him banned. Okay. I must not be a good communicator. Let me try this one more time. If Leafy said, Destiny said on stream that he would get me banned, then that's fair, because I did say that on stream. That's not what he said. What Leafy said was, Destiny went to the people to try to get me banned. When he says that, and then he says they talked to him about it, when he says that, he's implying that he has some kind of knowledge or that he knows that event actually took place. He doesn't know that. That's not what happened. And he's lying when he says I went and talked for 4 hours to people. He's implying that he has a whole bunch of background knowledge here that he doesn't have. That's not true. If he said Destiny said that on stream, that'd be one thing. People have a really hard time here. I don't know how else to say this. Start banning? Bro, I banned like fucking, I think I banned 100 people from the sub yesterday in that one fucking.
So Destiny just doesn't give a fuck there. You've got two guys who really don't give a fuck in this drama. That's what makes it so interesting, right? Like Leafy nor Destiny to, their interests. Like they do not fucking care. Leafy doesn't care if the internet thinks that he's like, some creepy like rapist type guy for leaking a girl's nudes, whereas Destiny doesn't care if like people view him as like this deplatforming loser. Like neither of them are going to be influenced by, especially the opinion of the commentary community. I mean, let's just be realistic here.
No.
So neither of these guys care, whatever. And it kind of has launched into this sort of debate too, because a lot of people, especially from my community, tried to do some digging to determine if Melina has ever been actually naked on stream, because obviously that would change the severity of Leafy showing the news on stream. Like, is this on her Fansly? Did she sell this before? Did she do public streams on Chatterbait?
Right.
Well, it seems like on her Fansly, there's no nudity. It seems like there is some random people in forums that are alleging that at one point she was specifically selling nudes to dudes or whatever.
Yeah, even the one nude that was leaked on stream, this guy is alleging that apparently this one.jpg is the nude, and they're alleging
Yeah,
that
this
it was
one is the
sold.
nude, and then
Now-
somebody dug it up back
Yeah.
in like 2020, which would have been a year before the supposed iCloud hack,
Right,
Or
so-
the Bob Seven leaking it.
drama. So I mean, obviously that's just one guy speculating, but it could be true. Maybe
Who
it
knows?
is. I have no idea. But yeah, there's like a whole debate about it because that really does change it. You know, if she's, I mean, you know, there's been a debate back and forth about sex workers, stuff like that. If she's even a sex worker, but it's only done lewd content, never showed like the, you know, the more extreme, I guess, parts of sex work, and then that's like a leaked photo showing those parts, you can still make, in my opinion, that distinction between, yeah, you're breaking that boundary of like nudity and nudity. But if she's been on stream before showing that, then you lose the moral argument of leaking nudes. At that point, you're just breaking like paywalled content.
Well, that does really change it a lot too, because again, this is my personal opinion, because this drama is like so autistic that it's like difficult to just drop like a solid take or not.
Yeah.
The fact that she is like publicly like on Fansly is a sex worker, which I consider lewd's absolutely sex work, especially if like you're selling it to people to jerk off to. I mean, that's literally the definition of sex work, right? Whether it's nude, like sex work isn't just getting penetrated by like 20 dudes on video. Like that's like the most extreme forms of it or whatever. Sex work can be a lot of stuff, right? Even some Twitch streamers are doing sex work, in my opinion.
Well, yeah.
But in my opinion, the fact that she's even making lewd content takes away the severity of just like the shock of seeing her naked is like infinitely less than if she was some like church-going private citizen, who's like, you just somehow like dig up her nudes that maybe was like some decrepit part of her past that she wants to like look past on or whatever. You somehow find this, you show it on stream. Obviously, to that person, seeing that person naked is like a much bigger deal than seeing Melina naked.
Right.
Which in my opinion makes what Leafy did, like, obviously it's bad, but like how bad is it really if she's doing that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, well, it's not like this is like Papa Gut's wife or something that they're just finding nudes
just
and like showing it like some random person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So they do have a little bit more like context there. I would still say that I think it's bad depending on whether she's done nude content or not, which unfortunately we can't really show it in the video because she's DMCAing even very heavily censored.
This is the problem. Like, people are trying to figure out where this stuff came from. One of my guys from my community or whatever, like, started like doing some like digging on his own or something, right? He put up a thread, and I don't even know if I can show this, but the thread is like fully censored.
Yeah.
Nothing is shown. Not even links were given to find the original material.
Yeah.
And yet Melina's out here DMCAing this dude. Like, why?
Yeah.
Literally, why? This is like the definition of fair use. It was highly transformative. There were screenshots. You can't, if you wanted to jerk off to them, it'd be impossible.
No way. Yeah,
because
especially with Jalen's face.
They censored it with Jalen's face all over, not just the tits, like her entire body.
Yes.
But the argument that's being made is whether or not she was fully nude on stream before, because allegedly Melina, Destiny, and a Chatterbait streamer, Arya Nina, went on Chatterbait fully topless, nips out and everything, just as explicit as what Leafy showed. Allegedly, this stream does exist.
Yeah.
Nobody knows for sure, and Melina's out here DMCing any sort of like possible leads to like where this could be from, which is very fishy.
Yeah, no, I think it's fishy. Yeah, and the argument too is like, well, people are bringing up there's two different streams, apparently, allegedly. There's the body painting stream, which would be even allowed on Twitch, for example. Twitch, I think for the longest
Twitch
time,
allows body painting.
allowed body painting, even though it looks very, sexual or whatever. There's that stream, but there's allegedly even another one where they don't have the paint over themselves. It's just completely open, all the way out. And if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, like, you have been nude on the internet, you have sold this, you have done this. So someone showing that,
it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, there's no moral argument, actually, zero.
Right.
It's simply just a paywall thing. That's the only where the morality comes. It's like, well, yeah, you're breaking someone's paywalled private shit. That's still fucked up. But there's no moral argument of you're leaking someone's nude,
right,
in that kind of way.
Yeah. So if that does exist, she's destroyed completely.
Yeah.
However, there's no definitive answer for that. So at the end of the day, we have a situation where Leafy leaks the nudes of this girl or whatever, and most people view that as really fucked up. I view it as, I guess it's fucked up. I mean, again. Here's my thing. It's like, if you're willing to make that mental barrier into like selling your body online or something like that, then again, somebody seeing you naked, even if it's just like the difference between lewd and nude, is not that big of a deal to me. I acknowledge, however, that is a very hot take. You know,
Right.
I think your take is a little bit different.
No, I mean, I think that that's like I disagree with it. I understand what you're saying, but I disagree. I just think that there's like a boundary there. Like you say, like I'm specifically not.
I
show
agree. I
these.
just don't think the boundary's that serious.
Yeah, I get that. But no, I mean, I think that Leafy broke that. At the end of the day, I mean, well, we don't know if he broke it. It broke it completely. But at the end of the day, you know, it's really just up to how you feel about it, I guess. There's a lot of speculation.
Yeah.
Until we can actually get the real proof and she doesn't DMCA it from being out there publicly, we won't really know. But, I mean...
at the end of the day, I mean, Destiny got what he wanted. You know, like he got the VODs taken down.
Yeah.
I mean, Leafy did do a response stream, whatever, and that's about it. So at least he's backed. The biggest thing for me is that he's backed up the deplatforming stuff, because deplatforming is cringe.
I agree with that.
And you know, he feels justified still in it or whatever. He defended like his actions if he were to do it, whatever. I don't know. He backed off that though. He's like, I'm not trying to get him banned. Like, fuck off with that shit. So that's really all I care about. You know, it's just the two dudes are fighting. Leafy fucked with him. Destiny's fucked with them back. You know, it's kind of a more fair, balanced like fight.
Yeah.